Hello and welcome. This is Ayana Lahi, and I'm so very happy that you're here with me in this week's episode of B1BU. We are diving into the theme, the truth about past life work. The reason I'm working with you today on this topic, because it's really important to me that you understand the reason and value of getting to the root essence, the root patterns of your past lives. Past lives are not about just, discovering that you were a particular person in a period of time. It can serve a small bit of purpose and information for you, but it just feeds the ego self so it can identify with a crisis or a wonderment, a exciting or an astonishing experience. But this perspective that I'm sharing with you is coming from living as a whole person. I'll define what that means. When you're a whole person, it means that you have integrated the thinking, psychological truths about your own self, how you respond, your perceptions, how you've carried certain beliefs, such as judging yourself, judging others, living in guilt, blaming yourself. These happen to all of us. And we bring with us the sanskaric pattern, which are the imprints, the impressions that we have within the grooves of our inner record-keeping system. We bring with us into our next incarnation all those grooves in our recording system, the ancient record system that is within our causal body, Causal. It is your memory body. It comes along with the soul when you reincarnate. And the reason I'm choosing to do this podcast right now and share with you is I am seeing people check out of their life, have unexpected health issues come up, unexpected psychological behaviors come up. And I recently have seen someone that I love dearly be diagnosed to need open heart surgery. And the devastation of that news for this person and to me was and is dramatic, it's intense, it's painful. And in my meditations with it, I have seen and could share with this person that I care about so deeply some of the imprints that have been carried into this lifetime, and him not working at that depth of level. The depth of level for him would have been and is moving through the pain in his heart. The pain that comes from not being whole, not being fully able to handle a trauma, a truth, a circumstance that happened in a previous lifetime multiple times. And in the male structure over the last 5 to 10,000 years, we've gone through a hardening of the armor to not feel. Women shut down completely. The feminine collective is now reopening to remember in a beautiful way, and men are opening to face the pain that has happened through armoring from the truths, the choices they made as emperor, king, duke, servant, banker, businessman, landowner, the structures within the mind, body, heart that have had to realign to a thinking process to avoid pain. I've often said that women can access pain a little faster because of the menstrual cycle each month. The menstrual cycle sometimes creates pain, and a woman definitely feels the expansion of the lower belly and high-level stimulation that happens to bring a woman closer to her feelings and having to work with that, to pay attention, to play in that, to honor it. And a man has to go through the heart center to feel and discover his pain. So a man's womb is in his heart. So here's this being that I love deeply, and he is preparing for his open heart surgery. The image I have is that he wasn't able to fully process in previous lifetimes death, and now he's facing his own life and death experience and needing to choose whether he wants to live or die, and he has chosen to live. And every situation, circumstance that you go through and went through as a younger child that pushed you to have to respond, whether you shut down, you acted out, you pulled away, you repressed your feelings, those are all part of the flower of your life. They are all responses to whether you are choosing to stay open to you or to shut down. And so we shut down in order to avoid having to face the levels in ourself we have to forgive, that we have to say, wow, I really did blame myself, for example, for my tribe when I was a chief as a Native American 3 lifetimes ago. And I still carry this self-blame and my own feelings of unworthiness, that I don't deserve money, land, power. That's just a small example, but major themes to all of us. So the reason to understand your past lives and to pursue just the core root essence of your past life themes really can make a dramatic imprint in your present life. The whole purpose, the truth about understanding, knowing your past lives is that you're understanding your core essence now. And everything is really about the now, to not get caught up in identifying with the past. There are certain lifetimes that are key lifetimes, such as a lifetime where you had to watch a persecution, where you watched a crucifixion, where you watched the dissemination, the elimination, the repression, a change of the guard, so to speak, of the collective and cultural circumstances of the times. In that moment, you went through something that was so dramatic and intense, just as the individuals who are experiencing devastation, like those individuals who lost family members in the Turkey earthquakes in February of 2023, those individuals who are in the Ukraine and have stood up to fight for their country, those individuals who follow and serve a government that they discover is corrupt. And what do? Do they continue lying and create more of those sanskaric patterns to bring into a future life to deal with? Or do they awaken to it and grok into it, own it, and take responsibility for it now? Forgiveness of oneself comes only when we realize that we can't fake it anymore, or we can't pretend, and we are solidly committed to taking off the Band-Aids that we hold upon our inner skin. Life does take off the snake skins through us having to let go of people, of belief systems, of having to let go of homes or job situations, a family member or dear friend that we love that passed away. We discovered that health conditions, serious chronic issues, usually have a component of a belief system towards ourself, a passivity, perhaps, that we open to, that we live in, because inside of ourselves we are living in an arena of perhaps a hopelessness, the despair, the feelings that who we are can't make a difference, that moment when we turn against ourselves in any lifetime is what creates then the future lifetime experience of how we are showing up in our life. Another example is a man who needs to show how important he is or how powerful he is. And that is the polarity of a lifetime when he experienced being put down, disregarded, or a lifetime when he was a very intense, a dictator kind of leader and could not completely fulfill what he came to fulfill, so he comes back to do it again. I worked with a man once, many years ago, who had a pattern of going into a relationship with a woman, and he had an amazing way to, from a woman's perspective, of being able to show up for that woman so completely at first that she gives her whole heart to him. And in that relationship, he appears to be steady and committed, but he's also having multiple affairs on the side. And over time, about over 20 years of him doing this, women started telling his next girlfriend the pattern. When he tracked his pattern into past life, this pattern began when he was a famous writer in the 1800s. I know it sounds a little bizarre, but the exact same pattern, the exact same thoughts in his head from that lifetime as the writer in Europe in the 1800s was the exact same pattern as this lifetime. And a person has the choice to open and accept that pattern. It's not really easy to say yes to unless you really want to go beyond being in control of how your life goes. When we open up to the truth within ourselves, we come through the ways that we hold back, judge, deny, avoid, and run from the truths within ourselves of our own insecurities, our own needs to be superior, to act out taking care of our mother who we could never save from our fathers beating her it goes multifaceted. Each and every one of us is an interconnected being, so everything that happens in your life in this lifetime has a root connection to a past lifetime. The partners that you choose, the man or woman that you're with as a intimate partner, you have either done that inner work so you can blast through being with partners who are abusive and prove to you your belief that you really aren't lovable or worthy, and that part of a relationship belief that's deep down in your psyche is that you're here to only be seen as fill in the blank. What do you believe in your deepest self that you are supposed to be or do in a relationship? You're taught that through the way you're raised, and you're taught that through your past life experiences and the wounding that those circumstances did for you. Perhaps you were raped in a lifetime and you tracked it back to sexual abuse many, many lifetimes prior. Time all comes together, and time doesn't separate the truth within sight of you that is connected to the root, core, essence, lessons, or awakenings that you are here to experience in this lifetime, so that you can move forward and into liberating yourself in this lifetime. And that is the great gift of this present time. And there is a collective, universal timing that happens on the planet. Different lessons, different growth cycles, different evolutionary awakenings are possible in each different time period. There's a reason for that. And that's a whole nother podcast of sharing with you. We are on an evolutionary track right now to come through the darkness of ignorance, of being in denial and in separation from the infinite source that's within inside of ourselves. That infinite source is God. So within inside of you is this divine human potential, a pattern of a reconfiguration into the light that you are. And we're in the midst right now, in between cycles. And that's why there's such contrasts of so much denial and darkness and so much light and awakening. So my invitation to you is to pay attention to the core patterns that you fall into to define yourself, and each day to call in your higher source connection and ask for help, support, to help you to identify how you turn against yourself, for instance, or deny that inner voice within you, and give yourself the opportunity to really listen to you, to open and to trust the inner truth that is emerging within you. I hold you in deep love, and I'm so grateful that you're here with all of us in the Spirit Gateways B community. There are many, many opportunities through the courses and trainings and events that are being rolled out here for you. And I wish to just say to you that your life is a treasure, and your presence here in this time period is really important. Please feel free to email me. You can find how to contact me on my website. You can ask questions. You can give input. I love working with all of you. My website is ayanalahi.com, IANALAHI.com. Please subscribe so you can receive the free offerings and a wonderful subscription series that's being rolled out in 2023, and the deepenings courses that are deep dives into profound topics that help you to live being the whole true self that you are in every facet of your life. Holding you in love. Until next time, this is Ayana Lahi.